parking tax regime for Lagosians commence second quarter of the year 2023. Lagos government. Welcome back to my channel. If you're a new viewer, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell. Also, do not forget to click on the like button anytime you're checking on our channel. Thank you so much. So the Lagos state government said it will commence a new parking tax regime for residents of Lagos from the second quarter of 2023. So according to Naira metrics, it's understand that the new tax regime will commence in phases starting from Ikeja, Lagos Island and surrounding areas of the state. So the general manager of Lagos State Parking Authority, that's LASPA, Mrs. Adebisi Adelabu, disclosed this in Lagos on Thursday in an interaction with the journalist. According to her, the new tax levy would affect religious places, event centers, streets, houses on setbacks, and other public places. To ensure the effectiveness of this new regime, she said the agency was partnering with private investors as concession rates, while other government agencies like the Ministry of Transport, local governments and local council development areas, corporate bodies and individuals. Already, she said the agency was working with major stakeholders in the state to publicize this new regime. So according to Adelabu, the general manager of the Lagos State Parking Authority, she explained that the state government intended to commence the scheme earlier in this year, but its interaction with the public delayed its commence date. But she assured that there was no going back on the commencement of the new level in the second quarter of 2023. So besides, the LASPA boss explained that the primary aim of the scheme was not for revenue generation as alleged in some quarters, but to bring sanity to the state and ensure it complies with its mega or smart city status. She explained that parking is an essential part of addressing the perennial traffic logjam in the state, assuring that the scheme would put an end in indiscriminate parking in most parts of Lagos. She also insisted that the new tax regime was not tantamount to multiply taxation of the Lagos residents, saying that motorists have been paying fees to faceless persons in the past year without accountability. She, however, did not specify the range of the payment by vehicle owners, religions, and event centers. She said the amount of money to be paid would vary from one area to the other depending on the location. So the general manager said, she insisted that the law was not new, as former Governor Mr. Govt commenced its implementation during his time as the governor of the state, but was relaxed by the succeeding regime. So according to her, the implementation of this tax levy then compelled some religion and event centers to either relocate their activities out of their area or buy properties close to their centers. She said, "We want to drive to Lagos where parking space and cost are considered for every inhabitant of the state. Parking is the priority of everyone, including landlords and tenants. Lagos State will get to a stage where houses will be taken because of inadequate space." She also said, "We have used the last 9 months to build an interagency relationship to drive the program well. Concentraries will be engaged as at least each will employ between 50 to 100 employees. That is another way of creating jobs for the people. We have been sanitizing the public on street parking. We eventually cover all streets and setback in the entire state." So meanwhile, the planned car parking levy has generated controversy in the past few months. Speaking to the journalist on the issue recently, a trade unionist, Mr. Ade Kabioye Olayinka, said the government policy was dangerous, coming at a time when the state, like other parts of the country, is preparing for another general election. So Abiru said this. I read about this shocking development last week. I laughed out loud that a government that is going into an election must be very careful in order not to foul the already stench environment. No matter the good intentions thereof, this is not the appropriate time to rule out this law. However, I am aware that the government usually engage in people and stakeholders before assenting to policy dished out or suggested by consultants whose only intention is to get their percentage of whatever accrues from such ventures. Did this government carry Lagosians along? What was the response of the people, especially home and house owners? What about landlords who do not have cars but whose tenants have vehicles? How many public parks have the government built in any of our communities where vehicle owners can park their vehicles, which will somehow generate revenue for the government and create job opportunities for those who manage such enterprises? The president of the Association of Town Planning Consultants of Nigeria, Miwa Adeolu, said the parking zone should be maintained. However, he explained that collection fee for every available space is not the answer to traffic reduction in the metropolis. He said it is going to cause more problems for the sovereign public. The way the state government is going about raising money from everywhere will not help the public. Government should stay within the boundary of collecting necessary sanitary states and levies. He added that the car parks and statutory setback ought to be maintained by the local government in their area. So, this is just a summary of what is expected to happen in the next quarter in the year 2023. They are planning to have a tax on parking space, anywhere you park, probably in your house, in the church, in an event center, or anywhere you park, you have to pay fees and levy for that. So according to the general manager of the Lagos State Parking Authority, she said this is not actually to generate revenue for the government. It's just to find a way to reduce traffic in Lagos. When people know where he's going to pay money for parking and stuff like that, he will tend to drop his car at home, then probably take a public bus to the place. So there's a lot of negativity, there are a lot of comments that people came out that this is not necessary. You just want to get this suffering or this public out with this your new law, because it's not a way of raising fund. Assuming you've built a lot of parks where people can park in different locations, then you can make revenue out of it. But just making laws without even making an amendment or probably a solution to the law to make things easier for the citizen in the state is not something good. So with this, probably should be accepting this law next year, 2023, in the second quarter. So that's all we have for you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're a new viewer. Thank you so much.